before I forget, the two OTT1 and OTT2 need to go into both of them. All right, I'm just gonna go. This mic has been fixed. Okay. How's it going? Good evening, Tropical Meteorologist Fred Campagna keeping an eye on this Tropical Storm Debby, which is a foot of rain down into the Savannah area, the lower Savannah area, East Georgia. Significant flooding down in that area, and a lot of flooding as well as you head up to coastal South Carolina, Charleston area, and a bit of a Hilton Head as well. But picking up upwards of a foot of rain in many of those areas. Drifting rain out there this evening. Let's go through the weather map. Show you the very latest on Debby. The new tropical storm is hugging the coast. It's drifting a little bit offshore right now, but moving very slow at all. Eastward winds up to 30 miles per hour. So you can notice that icon over the last several hours it has just meandered around down in that area, and that is not expected to change much during the overnight hours. And even tomorrow it may drift a little bit further away from the coastline overall. Oh. All right, probably couldn't hear me there for a little bit, so let me come back and tell you what is going on. So we're keeping an eye, of course, on Tropical Storm Debby, which is right along the south coast of, right along the coast of Georgia and the southern part of South Carolina's coastline as well. It's just been drifting in that area and producing very heavy rain, gusty winds. The wind's not the biggest factor with the storm, but the ground is so saturated that even though it has weak tropical storm force winds, it's still capable of downing some trees and, of course, causing damage. Flooding has been the biggest issue, though, down in that area, as we were expecting from this storm. Around a foot of rain falling in Savannah, and even more than a foot estimated by our first alert radar once you go just to the north, Hilton Head up to around Charleston, South Carolina. And now some of those heavier rain bands are beginning to spin into the very northern part, Myrtle Beach area, as well as up into North Carolina. So let's flip over here and get a look at what is going on with Debby. Winds of only 40 miles per hour. Notice that icon as it just meanders around, not moving much at all, off the southeast U.S. coastline. It's not the biggest storm, but it is bothersome, to say the least, down in that area. More rain falling in Savannah this evening. It's not as heavy as what fell yesterday evening, thankfully, but anything that falls at this point probably going to exacerbate some of the flooding conditions down in that area as this storm clings to the coast just offshore and moves to the north. It may strengthen a little bit, 50 miles per hour, 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. It is expected to tighten up to 60 miles per hour before making landfall north of Charleston, probably not too far from Myrtle Beach, at 2 o'clock in the morning or so on Wednesday night and into Thursday. So that's when it moves back inland, and from that point forward, it'll continue moving north, weakening to a tropical depression by Friday morning, and eventually drifting off to the north through the mid-Atlantic and up through the western part of New England. Looks where the center of this storm is going to go, bringing with it heavy rain, some strong gusty winds as well from this storm system. But take a look at what's going on right now just outside our West Midtown studio. It's a beautiful early evening in our area. We've got some thin clouds over Atlanta Metro, a little thicker, the cloud cover as you go to the east, but we're not seeing much green at all on that radar over our area. Augusta right at the edge of this storm and picking up some rain this evening, but we certainly are not. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s right now after topping out in the lower 90s this afternoon. Low temperatures tonight into the low 70s, low to mid 70s. I point this out because today is going to be the 56th straight day where the temperature has not fallen below 70 degrees at Hartsfield-Jackson. That's pretty incredible stretch, and the second longest on record. The record longest is 73 straight days, so we still have a ways to go before getting there. It's not out of the realm of possibility that we get there, but we do have some less humid air coming in late this weekend and early next week, and that temperature may briefly slip below 70 degrees. So one of the things that I always tell people about the summers down here in North Georgia, they're unrelenting in their humidity and warmth and muggy nights, and that's definitely been the case this summer, as we have had about 2 straight months without that temperature getting below 70 degrees. Not one little cool shot for us to enjoy a nice, comfortably cool night. But not unusual to have a long stretch, but this is an exceedingly long stretch of that type of weather. Tomorrow's going to be a hot day. High temperature gets up to about 95 degrees during the afternoon, so that's toasty for this time of the year. The normal high is still 90, but 5 degrees hotter than that for Atlanta, for Athens, 5 degrees hotter for Eatonton as well, 96 for Covington, Rome, 97 for LaGrange. Look at the mountains, 90 LJ, 91 for Helen. A little more sunshine tomorrow than we saw today. Showed you the track of Debby, and as it drifts a little bit farther to the east, it takes with it its cloud cover out of our area. So expect to see a lot of blue sky. The humidity will not be terribly high for us. We have that going for us on Wednesday afternoon, but it is going to be hot. It'll be warm Wednesday night. Thursday morning, we start with sunshine, but see those clouds creeping in our direction. A couple of showers are possible, too, as we hit later Thursday, mainly east of Atlanta. It doesn't look like much activity. We only have about a 20% risk in the forecast for Thursday. That's as close as Debby is going to come. At that point, it starts moving away from us later Thursday and into early Friday. And a beautiful stretch of weather takes us from Friday right through the weekend. This could be the nicest weekend of the summer. I know kids are back in school, but still summertime in August. And it looks like it's going to be beautiful Saturday and Sunday. In fact, we're not forecasting much in the way of cloud cover either day right now, as temperatures will likely reach the lower 90s on both Saturday and Sunday. 93 Saturday, 92 on Sunday. I was talking earlier about the humidity coming down some, and you can see that reflected in those low temperatures. So it is possible that that low temperature gets into the upper 60s, at least briefly, sometime over the weekend or early next week. And we're not also talking about outlying areas. I know if you live in the mountains, you get nights in the 60s. If you live in the northern suburbs, West Georgia, even east and southeast of Atlanta. But Hartsfield, Jackson is where those official weather records are kept for Atlanta. And it tends to stay warm at night. We know that there's an urban heat island effect that impacts all of Atlanta, basically inside the perimeter, especially midtown, downtown, and down near the airport. That urban heat island is caused by all the concrete. Atlanta is a city in a forest, but it does have some pretty dense urban areas, and that tends to hold those temperatures up during the overnight hours, which it can actually be pretty dangerous during the summer, during some of our hotter stretches. We've had evenings where at 11 o'clock the temperature has still been in the mid and upper 80s, and it's those nighttime temperatures that are actually more deadly than the daytime high temperatures with the kind of heat that we get here in North Georgia in most instances, because your body just needs an opportunity to cool down overnight. And if you don't have air conditioning and that temperature doesn't get below, say, 85 degrees or so, then you're going to have a really tough time lowering your body temperature. So that's a little bit about our urban heat island concerns here in the Atlanta metro area. But again, it's been a while since we've seen that temperature get down below 70 degrees, and it may happen in the 7-day forecast. But the big story, the big headline this week has been Debby. We're thinking about our friends down there in the southern part of Georgia who have been dealing with this storm system. It's just been pretty much what we expected it to be. I'll go back to the map here really quickly in case you joined late, just to show you. And we expected a slow-moving storm that would be a tropical storm, that winds wouldn't be the major headline. In fact, it would be the rain, it would be the flooding rain. We haven't talked about storm surge along the Georgia coast. We haven't talked too much about the winds. I know that there was a fatality as a result of a tree falling on a house when the stronger part of the storm came through yesterday. The winds are still gusty down in that area, but it only has sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. Picked up about a foot of rain in Savannah. So on a historical scale, this is right up there. Probably in the top 5 over this, if you look at 2-day rainfall totals for that area. So this is definitely a lot more rain than you would normally see from a tropical system, even in an area that does get a fair amount of tropical systems, like the coast of Georgia and the coast of South Carolina. This is the result of this happens because the storm is moving so slowly. It is not caught up in the jet stream. A lot of times these storms, they come in, they plow inland, and then they keep moving to the north and head up through the mid-Atlantic and somewhere off the northeast coast. But not the case with Debby. It's going to meander around through the night, through the day tomorrow, and then eventually move away on Thursday and into Friday. Again, our weather very quiet overall. A hot one on Wednesday. Looking forward to a really, really nice weekend, and no first alert weather days to tell you about in the 7-day forecast. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and don't forget, check us out tonight at 10 and 11 on Atlanta News First. Have a good one.